Cardano community, I have not forgotten about you. Now, I know it's been a little while since I've made a video. I was actually with another channel, but now, as you can see, I've actually started my own YouTube channel. So for that, make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I'll get into all that. But I do want to cover some recent developments that are going on with Cardano. This is going to be a short, quick video. Got to get back to some things here, but it is pretty big here because this is something that I did cover right around this time last year, pretty much when the Vassal hard fork was going live at the same time when there were rumors of the JED stablecoin to go live over summer. Obviously, it never did, and it went live only a few months ago. But Cardano is potentially getting ready to launch their layer 2 scaling solution. So if we take a look over here, Cardano poised for ultra bullish surge following the latest Hydra Upgrade development milestone. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar, Hydra is, like I just mentioned, going to be their layer 2 scaling solution. Now, what's really interesting is the Cardano blockchain really is already fairly fast, super low transaction fees. So it's really interesting that they are looking to move into a layer 2 scaling solution. However, this kind of signifies to me that Cardano is expecting to start gaining a lot of traction here in the DeFi world. And you're also going to see as to why. So let's take a quick read into this article so you have a better understanding as to why this is some pretty big breaking news. So as we know, obviously Cardano is the 7th largest cryptocurrency by market cap. And if we do take a look at coin market cap right now, Cardano has actually stayed in the top 10, well, for the last couple of years here, really ever since 2018. So that is quite impressive. And like I mentioned, the Cardano community is quite resilient. So I'm expecting that with a lot of these, developments and upgrades that Cardano is really going through here, that the Cardano community is going to see some pretty bullish sentiment start moving their way. Hydra is a scalability layer 2 solution allowing developers to add specialized smart contracts on top of Cardano. The protocol is expected to boost transaction speed through low latency, high throughput, and minimize transaction costs. It will also address the network's security and scalability capabilities. So this is really what Cardano has had issues with for the longest time. Now, a lot of this did change in 2021 when they had their hard fork back in September, and now that brought about smart contract capabilities. And ever since then, it's really opened up the door for Cardano to really start developing a lot more dApps, to really start bringing in a lot more users, and ideally a lot more money into the ecosystem. Hydra compromises a family of protocols and is one of the key components of Cardano's layer 2 scaling solution in the Basho phase. The Hydra head is the first in this suite of protocols and provides a foundation on which to build out further scalability. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with how the Hydra layer 2 solution is going to work, I'm going to take you back to a little bit of science class here. Remember, back in biology, maybe in high school, if you paid attention, but you learned about these membranes right between our cells, and there's all these different ways of how nutrients and all of the things that go between cells can get into each other. And one of them we learned was like through something that kind of looked like a Hydra head, right? It kind of had a head and a tail, and it had to travel through. So that's very similar to what Cardano is doing here. And just like it sounds like, it's going to be a layer 2 solution that's built on top of Cardano, but it's not going to be something where it's like an Arbitrum or like an Optimism where they basically do it off chain. It's all still going to be done on chain. So what it's going to have to do is travel through like this Hydra head or through this tail, get to the Hydra head, where then all the transactions are obviously going to be confirmed, they're going to be settled, and then they're just going to be sent back to the Cardano blockchain. But like I mentioned, it's not necessarily going to be completely off chain. It's just getting, done in a certain area of the Cardano blockchain, and that's it. And then, like I mentioned, a few months ago, the JED stablecoin actually went live. And I do want to show you this on MinSwap because MinSwap is the most liquid DEX on the Cardano ecosystem. And I do want to take a look here at actually JED just to kind of see the type of liquidity that's been able to develop here. So as we can see right here, the current TVL for JED at least is about 1.49 million. 24-hour trading volume is sitting at just over a 250,000. And the weekly trading volume is sitting at about 2.26 million. So ideally, I would like to see the TVL, be a little bit higher. Also, I think this is probably the number one thing that is still holding Cardano back, because if we come to DeFi Llama and we look at overall TVL ratings, as we can see, Cardano is not even in the top 10 or 15, however many coins there are in here. I mean, we have, protocols like Mixin, Kronos, Kava, and Clayton that are still well ahead of Cardano. You actually have to go to this drop-down menu and then, find Cardano in there. And, Cardano's TVL right now is only sitting at 152 million. So this right here, personally, is what I think is holding Cardano back the most. If they can get this TVL really sparked up and ideally, maybe into a top 10 or a top 5 where they can start competing with some of the other layer ones out there, like, Avalanche, Phantom, Optimism that, do have TVLs in the billions, I think that is something that will start to surge the price of Cardano to the upside. I mean, to be honest, Phantom should be kind of like in their crosshairs right now because they only have a TVL of about 580 million. A big drop off did happen when Andre Cronje did decide to step away from crypto and the Phantom Foundation. He is back now. But yeah, I think Cardano really can start making some moves here in this bear market, and ideally that's what I would like to see. For them to, whether they want to overtake Ethereum, whether they want to become the cryptocurrency of crypto. Again, this is going to be the time for them to start making this move because 152 TVL for a top 10 cryptocurrencies, it's not the best. Like I said, I do want to see it to start trending upwards, and they do have a lot of dApps. I mean, as you can see, MinSwap is, like I mentioned, the most liquid DEX on their blockchain. I mean, they have 17 different dApps, but if you look at something like DeFi Chain, for instance, they only have like 2 dApps there. Kava, for instance, okay, so Kava does actually have a lot of dApps. Wow, they actually have 81 dApps. It's a little too much in my opinion. Let's look at Clayton here. Same thing, 31 dApps. So maybe they are up there in terms of the amount of dApps that they have. They just need a lot more liquidity. So again, they have the number of dApps. They just really need to start getting some money into their ecosystem. And hopefully with the launch of Hydra, with the combination of Jet already being live, because as we can see right here, Hydra for Payments is a new tool expected to unlock micropayments power in the Cardano ecosystem once Hydra goes live. Lead Hydra developer Sebastian Nagel noted that their goal is to make this payment feature as fast as possible, elevating its speed above those of the Lightning Network and other payment tools. So there we go. It looks like that they are really going to be focusing more in the payment scene with the Hydra layer 2. And again, this is really going to open up a lot of avenues for them to really start making moves and dominating in the crypto space. And then what was really interesting is that earlier today, right before I made this video, I noticed this tweet from Jack Levin. For those of you who aren't familiar, Jack Levin, he built out Zen. Zen's been out for the last few months. You can still go claim your mint, and then you can pick on how many days you want to actually be able to receive it. But he made this tweet earlier today. Any thoughts on Cardano? Its DeFi TVL is rather small. So exactly what I'm talking about here. Even Jack Levin is noticing this, and he said, "Do you think people who like it, just like Charles Hoskinson, like the tech or have been invested for a long time?" Now, Charles Hoskinson, always super awesome guy. I actually met him in person at the crypto conference in Austin, Texas. It was a Consensus 2022 is where I met him. I have a picture. Maybe I'll try to post it up here, or go on my Twitter. You guys will find I have a picture with Charles Hoskinson there. But even he notices that Cardano's TVL is rather small, and who knows, maybe this is some sort of gimmick here, or maybe he's like hinting at a potential maybe partnership or integration with Zen, because there are rumors that Zen is going to be building out their very own blockchain as well. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to leave it up to Jack Levin. He's kind of a crazy guy in the crypto community. He really moves fast. But again, the fact that he's even noticing their TVL is very low, I think is signifying that maybe things are going to start really turning around here for Cardano, which would be a really good thing. And if we do start to see Cardano making moves in the payment scene, now we're talking about, being a rival to something like they mentioned, the Bitcoin Lightning Network, maybe some other payment networks that are utilizing either Ethereum or layer 2 scaling solutions. So, this might be the right step in the right direction for Cardano. Previously, Cardano's founder, Charles Hoskinson, stated Hydra could facilitate other things like fast finishing, microtransactions, and microgorging. That said, although its mainnet launch date remains unclear, the development progress of the Hydra protocol has been met with high expectations, as its success is crucial to Cardano's continued growth and adoption. Furthermore, with its scalability solutions, including those brought by the Vassal upgrade, ADA, the native coin for the Cardano network, is well positioned to surge as more users and projects onboard the network. Now, if we actually do come and take a look at the Cardano price chart, this is around the time when the Alonzo hard fork happened back in September 21. And really since then, it hasn't been the best time for Cardano. I mean, that was really the top, and really, well, we're going almost on 2 years where it's been negative price action. So I do know people that actually did buy the top here because they, maybe thought Cardano was going to $10 or whatever. Now, one thing is a disclaimer, Cardano wasn't created to be a cryptocurrency that's going to change people's lives monetarily. Charles Hoskinson is literally trying to revolutionize the whole entire Web3 world. Like, he's trying to revolutionize Africa with this tech. And like I mentioned, the Cardano community is quite resilient. Like, they are very bullish on it, regardless of any news that's coming out about it, regardless of, whatever people are saying in the social media space. I know like Alex Becker likes to bash on Cardano people, but they are quite resilient. I will give them that. However, the Alonzo hard fork, that was the last time Cardano really saw any type of positive price action. Okay, we can argue that that was around the time when the bull market was peaking, but with especially since they had their Vassal hard fork upgrade alongside with their stablecoin launch, I would have ideally liked to see maybe price to start to trend upwards to at least have a decent change. I mean, we could argue that maybe here this is where things changed. As we did, have a pretty decent breakout here to the upside. So this was about, a 70% rally from the start of the new year. We're kind of meeting some resistance here, but I mean, I am looking at Cardano potentially coming down to anywhere from the 17 to the 10 cent range. I think that's, very probable, especially if this bear market does get bad enough. There's a lot of liquidity. I don't know if we're going to re-enter these levels here, all the way down to 5 cents. If you see Cardano at 5 cents, I'm telling you right now, you better buy that up, because a return on 5 cents from here, I mean, it's going to be pretty crazy. Let's say even if you bought exactly at 5, to previous all-time highs, you're looking at almost a 70x there, which would be pretty crazy. But again, Cardano's playing the long game. So the news with the Hydra, the news with the Hydra mainnet is looking very bullish personally for me. Like they did mention, there is no clear date yet. The mainnet launch date does remain unclear. However, before the mainnet launch date, even Jack Levin is noticing it, but we do want to start seeing TVL uptick here. I think this is the one thing that Cardano is going to have to start getting a much more aggressive with, whether it's through launching either more dApps or just really starting to have these dApps offer a lot more. And again, the biggest thing that's also holding Cardano back, besides the TVL, is they don't have a MetaMask integration yet. They need to figure out how to have a MetaMask connection, because that is the most popular and the most liquid, you can call, Web3 wallet out there. Yes, there's a bunch of MetaMask wallets out there, but again, the majority of users, they live on Web3 and they use MetaMask for that. It's either MetaMask or Trust Wallet. If they can get an integration with either one of those wallets, I think you're going to start to really see TVL turn around there. Until then, they're kind of fighting an uphill battle here. I hope maybe somebody from the Cardano community hears this and maybe they try to relay this information or try or give us an update. Maybe they are working with the integration for MetaMask and we're just not aware of it. But if you combine a MetaMask integration, I think you will also start to see TVL really start to tick up. Maybe some more incentives for providing TVL, locking it up, whether it's, again, going into something like MinSwap and providing liquidity here. I know that Cardano is very popular to stake on a lot of cryptocurrency platforms. Obviously, that doesn't necessarily play into TVL. But maybe if they adjust some of their APRs, I mean, let's just take a look at, if you want to provide ADA and Min, you're getting about 1.3% on all the trading fees. You get an LP, there's an LP fee of about 0.25% there. So I think the rewards would have to be a little bit higher. I mean, we're talking about 2% here. I know obviously in Uniswap some of the fees are a lot higher, and it's obviously a lot more liquid. So yeah, those are kind of my two things there with Cardano is let's get a MetaMask integration. Let's start to see TVL tick up, but them launching layer 2 solution is going to be very, very bullish. Combine that with their stablecoin, and like they said, it looks like they're trying to move into a transaction type of direction for the time being. So if you guys appreciate this type of content, as always, leave a like. If not, leave some constructive criticism in the comments down below. If you have not liked, subscribed, or turned on your push bell notification icons, make sure you guys do that now. I'll catch you in the next one.